Good morning friends. Welcome to next session number 4. Topic of this session is profit and loss. When we start with this session, before starting with it, I would like to tell you what we are going to study in this session. We will study the different terms, that is meaning of cost price, selling price, profit, loss, standard formulas, chain rule, mark price, markup percentage, successive discount, faulty balances, that is about what we are going to study in this lecture. Now we will start with the topic. As everyone know, we have some terms. One is CP, that stands for cost price, that is the cost. Second one is SP, this is selling price, where SP is greater than CP. So we can say that is the condition of a profit, and profit is always equal to selling price minus cost price. On the other hand, when cost price is greater than selling price, we can say there is a loss, and loss is always equal to cost price minus selling price. We will find profit percentage and loss percentage. One thing to be noted here, whenever we have to find profit percentage or loss percentages, both are always taken as a percentage on CP. So we can say the formula for profit percentage is profit upon CP into 100, as well as formula for loss percentage is loss divide CP into 100. Then we have two standard formats. One is for finding the selling price. Selling price is always equal to cost price into 100 plus profit percent upon 100. If there is a loss, we take it as cost price into 100 minus loss percent upon 100. If we have to find the cost price, then it will be reversed. Selling price into 100 upon 100 plus profit percentage in the case of cost price, and when there is a loss, so we take it as SP into 100 upon 100 minus loss percent. So these are the basic terms and basic formulas that we will use in this chapter, because the first part of the topic will be based on cost price, selling price, profit percentage, loss percentage. So that is a list of the formulas on which we will try to answer our statements. One thing to be remembered, profit or loss percentage is always taken on CP, and if it is taken on SP, that will be mentioned in the question, and for getting the actual CP, we have to convert and we have to take it on CP. Now we will start with solving the questions. The first type of question that I am going to discuss here, which are based on the concept of profit equation, As we know, selling price is always equal to cost price plus profit, and if there is a loss, we take it as cost price minus loss. It is given that SP of 5 articles is equal to CP of 4 articles. Find profit or loss percentage, if any. selling price of 5 articles is equal to cost price of 4 articles, we have to find profit or loss percentage. If we have to answer this question, so what I can say? SP of 5 equal to 4 CP. I can say SP upon CP would be taken as 4 upon 5. If my selling price is 4, then my cost price is 5. It means there is a loss of rupees 1. I have to find the loss percentage. That is always taken on CP. So 1 upon 5 into 100. My answer is equal to 20% loss. Right? Just try to understand it again what I have done. It is given that 5 SP is equal to 4 CP. From where I can say SP upon CP is 4 upon 5. If my selling price is 5, then my CP is, if my selling price is 4, then my CP is 5. The difference is 1, that is the loss, because CP is more than SP, and my loss percentage is 1 upon 5 into 100, that is equal to 20%. The same question can be answered in this way also. SP of 5 articles is equal to CP of 4 articles. So I can take an LCM of 5 and 4. This will give me 20. So I can assume that I am spending 20 rupees. What I can say is SP of 5 articles is rupees 20. Then SP of 1 article is rupees 4. Similarly, CP of 1 article becomes rupees 5. There is a loss of 1 and loss is on CP into 100. We can say the loss is equal to 20%. I think the point is clear. That is the first type of question in which we just compared between the relationship of SP and CP. What the second question is, it is given that while selling 5 pence, a person gets profit equal to SP of 2 pence. While selling 5 pence, a person gets a profit equal to SP of 2 pence. You have to find out what is the profit percentage. The question is, you have to find out what is the profit percentage. Now we have two approaches for this. The first one deals with this profit equation. I have to sell 5 pence. It means SP of 5 pence. What does it include? CP of 5 pence as well as profit or loss. Here it is a profit and profit is equal to SP of 2 pence. So I will write it as 2 SP. Now this will come here 3 SP equal to 5 CP. Now this question is the same as I discussed earlier. So I can say SP upon CP is equal to 5 upon 3. My selling price is 5 and cost price is 3. It means I am in a profit and my profit percentage is 2 upon 3 into 100. So I can say profit percentage is 66.66%. Right? The same question can also be understood one more way. It is given that selling price of 5 pence is equal to cost price of is equal to selling price of 5 pence. You get a profit equal to SP of 2 pence. If I assume, let us assume that SP of 1 pen is equal to rupees 1. Then SP of 5 pence is equal to rupees 5 and the profit is equal to rupees 2. So now what I can say, if SP is rupees 5 and profit is rupees 2, so I can say cost price will be rupees 3. Now I can easily make a comparison. Profit is 2 and CP is 3. My profit percentage will be 2 upon 3 into 100. Answer is equal to 66.66% profit. Now the point that you have to understand, there may be a variation. Suppose it is SP of 2 pence and it's a case of profit. If it is a case of loss, then what we are expected to do, we will make it as 5 SP equal to 5 CP minus 2 SP, and we can answer our question. I think the point is clear. Similarly, there may be also a variation in the place of SP. It may be equal to CP of 2 pence. So what we will do in case of profit, we will make it as 5 SP equal to 5 CP plus 2 CP. And now solve this equation and find the profit percentage. In the case of loss, when there is CP of 2 pence, my equation will become as 5 SP equals to 5 CP minus 2 CP, and now we can easily solve it and find our answer. So in a single question, I explained you 4 types of variants can be there. The first variant is there is a profit equal to SP of 2 pence. So I will make this equation and answer my question. Secondly, there may be loss equal to SP of 2 pence. My answer would be in this way. Then in the place of SP there may be a case of CP also. So what we are just expected to do here in this profit equation, whatever the profit is there, either profit is of SP or CP, we will put it here. If there is a profit, it should be added. If there is a loss, it should be subtracted. And after that we can make a comparison between SP and CP, and with that we can say either you are in a position to get profit or loss. If you have a profit by CP into 100. If you have a loss, it should be loss upon CP into 100. That would be profit or loss percentages. So that's the first type question in which we understood the concept of the profit equation, which is always equal to SP equal to CP plus profit or CP minus loss. I hope this part is clear to you now. Now after this, I am going to explain you type 2 questions. In the type 2 questions, now we try to understand. It is given that CP of 2 cows is equal. CP of 2 cows is equal. Then it states you first cow is sold at a profit percent of 20% and the second cow is sold at a loss percent of 20%. We have 2 cows. The first is sold at a profit of 20% and the second is sold at a loss of 20%. In the answer, we have to find out what is the overall profit or loss percent. In the answer, we have to find out what is the overall profit or loss percent. So we have 2 approaches for this. The first one simply states, assume the cost price to be 100 for both cows. For first cow is 100 and second cow is 100. The first is sold at a profit of 20%. So I can say selling price is 120 and for the second selling price is 80. That we have assumed CP and that is the SP. Now here my total CP is 200, my total SP is 200. So I can say there is no profit, no loss. It's my answer. So what's my answer is, there is no profit, no loss. On the other hand, if I just change my question, the first cow is sold at a profit percent of 20% and the second cow is sold at a loss percent of 40%, and we have to find what is the overall profit or loss percent. If I use this approach, so what I will do, my first cow cost is 100 and second cow cost is 100, that is CP. We will try to find the SP. For the first cow this is 120, for the second cow this is 60. My overall CP is 200 and overall SP is 180. So I can say that my SP is less than CP. It means there is a loss. and loss is equal to 20, I have to find the loss percentage. That will be taken over CP 200 into 100, 20 by 10, answer is equal to 10% loss. Right? We have one shortcut method for this. What this method talks about, in any question when CP is equal, where we have two or more items in which cost price is equal, the first is sold at a profit of X%, second is sold at a profit or loss of Y%. It may be anything. If profit is there, we will take it as plus. If loss is there, we will take it as minus. I have to find my overall profit or loss percentage. Just take the average. It means X minus Y divided by 2. If it is positive, it means it is profit percentage. If it is loss, it means it is negative, it means it is loss percentage. So we can apply this approach here also. On the first there is a profit of 20%, on the second there is a loss of 40%. I have to find my overall profit or loss percentage. 20 minus 40 upon 2 minus 20 by 2. This is minus 10. It means 10% loss. It's your answer. I think this first concept is clear to you. The first topic talks about where CP is equal. Where CP is equal and one is sold at profit, second is sold as a loss percentage. For finding the overall profit or loss percentage, we just take the average. Means if both are at the profit, it would be X plus Y upon 2. If both are at the loss, it should be minus X minus Y upon 2. If one is profit and other is at the loss, make it as X minus Y upon 2. And if there are more than 2, suppose X, Y and Z percent profit, so overall would be X plus Y plus Z upon 3. If the sign is positive, it means there is a profit percent. If it is a loss, it would be, if it is negative, it means it is loss percent. Right? Then we are going to understand the third case where SP is equal. SP is equal. Suppose it is given that selling price of 2 cows is equal. The first is sold at a profit of 20%. Second is sold at a loss of 20%. We have to find what is the overall profit or loss percent. Now, these type of questions, if we just answer with the traditional way by assuming it to be 100, the process will be quite long. For your understanding, I am just explaining it. Assume SP of the cows is 100 and 100. We know that first is sold at a profit of 20% and second is sold at a loss of 20%. We will try to find the CP. We know the formula for CP, that is SP into 100 divided by 100 plus profit percentage. This will be 26, 25, 23, 250. So we take it as 250 upon 3. Similarly, for the second case, there is a loss of 20. So CP would be 100 into 100 upon 80, 24, 25, 425. We take it as rupees 125. So now I can say overall SP is 200. Overall CP would be addition of these two. This will be equal to 625 by 3. That states me CP is more than SP. It means there is a loss. And we can say loss percentage is, we just take a subtraction. That will give me 25 upon 3 is the loss upon CP, that is 625 upon 3 into 100. Just solve it. 25. It is 4% loss. That's your answer. So it's a traditional method by which we have just assumed the two quantities to be 100. First is at a profit of 20%, second it at a loss of 20%. With our traditional formula for finding the profit or loss, we have found their CP, then we have taken overall SP is 200 and overall CP is 625 by 3. By looking at it, we can say there is a loss because CP is greater than SP. So I will take the loss and divide by CP to 100 and we can say there is a 4% loss. Now we have one standard formula for this where SP is equal, first is sold at a profit of X% and the second is sold at a loss of X%. This is a standard shortcut for this. If both are sold at the same percent profit and same percent loss, the first is sold at X% profit and the second is sold at X% loss. If I have to find the overall profit or loss percent, my answer is always there would be a loss, and this overall loss is always equal to minus of X square upon 100. Because it is minus, so we can say there is a loss. So answer is for this question, that is X is 20, so I can say 20 square upon 100, this would be 4% loss. In questions of this type, every time there would be a loss. There is no need of taking as a profit, there is always a loss, and the loss is always equal to X square by 100%. I think this point is clear. Sometimes, suppose in this question, we can apply this shortcut also because the same percent profit and same percent loss. Sometimes there is a problem where the percentage differs. For example, SP of 2 cows is equal, first cow is sold at a profit of X% and the second cow is sold at a loss of Y%. Here my profit percentage is changing. The first is at a profit of X% and the second is at a loss of Y%. And we have to find the overall profit or loss percentage. So here you have two types of approaches. The first is your traditional approach. You can assume SP to be 100 and then solve it. We have one shortcut formula here for finding out overall profit or loss. What this formula talks about, X% profit and Y% loss. This states is simple, 100 into X minus Y, because X is profit and Y is loss, minus 2XY minus 2 into X into Y upon 100 plus X plus 100 minus Y. If the whole sign of this formula is positive, it means that is profit percent. If it is negative, it means this is loss percent. What this formula talks about? In case when there is the difference between the profit and loss percentages, if both are same, in that case we can apply this formula, X square by 100% loss, that's every time there would be a loss. But in case where there is a difference, means first is sold at a profit of X%, second is sold at a loss of Y%. So in that case, if I have to find my overall profit or loss percent, so this formula can be used in order to find the profit or loss percent. And if it in both cases there is a profit, then the minus sign will be replaced by positive. Means I can say in the first cow is sold at a profit of X% and the second is sold at a profit of Y%. I have to find the overall profit percent. It should be 100 into X plus Y plus 2XY upon 100 plus X plus 100 plus Y. Because here I am getting a profit, that minus should be replaced by positive sign. So this gives me overall profit percentage. That's our third type, in which we just understood when selling price is equal, so we understood how to deal with these type of problems, right? Now after this we have fourth type of questions which are based on the concept of chain rule, which are based on the concept of chain rule. For example, there is a person A, he purchased an article for rupees 2000 from the market. There is a person A, he bought an article for rupees 2000. It means the CP for A is rupees 2000. He sells it to B at a profit percent of 20%. A sells the article to B at a profit of 20%. Then B spends rupees 100 as repairs on the article. Then it is given that he further sells it to C at a loss of 10%. He further sells it to C at a loss of 10%. And in the answer we have to find out what is the overall money, total money paid by C. In the answer we have to find out what is the total money paid by C. That's the question. Now, how we can answer this type of question? For A, CP was 2000. He sells it to B. It means selling price would be 120 upon 100. Right? So that is SP for A and it becomes cost price of B. Now, if a person spends something over it, he spends rupees 100 as repairs, it means the cost for B increases by rupees 100. This is the cost for B. And he sells it to C. It means that is the cost for B and he is selling it to C. This is the CP and we have to find the SP into 100 minus 10 by 100, 90 by 100. So when we solve it, that will give you 2400 plus 100, 2500 into 90 upon 100. Answer is 2250. This is the total money paid by C to B in order to purchase the article. What the chain rule means? Chain rule simple means in a chain A sells to B, B sells to C, C sells to D. So we just take SP of A becomes CP of B, SP of B becomes CP of C, and if a person spends something in between as repairs or as any expense, that simply increases the cost of the person. Like here, that is the cost of B was earlier rupees 2400, but he spends rupees 100. It means now his cost becomes 2500, and then we will find the money paid by C. So this is the chain rule by which we can answer the questions in which we sell article in the chain. After this, we have next concept. That's our concept number 5. It deals with the questions of part selling. Just try to understand the question and answer it. A person sells 20% of articles at a profit percent of 20%. He sells 30% of remaining articles at a loss percent of 25%. Remaining articles he sells at a profit percent of 50%. We have to find out what is the overall profit or loss percent over the transaction. Just try to understand. You have some articles with you and percentage is given. First you sell 20% of the articles, then you sell 30% of the remaining articles at a loss of 25%. Then the remaining articles you sell at a profit of 50%. And in the answer you have to find out what is the overall profit or loss percent. If you have to answer questions of this type, what is the simplest method. Assume there are 100 articles and one article costing 1, it means your total CP is 100. First case, 20% of the articles means 20 of the CP. If you have to take 20% of the CP, it means 20, you get a profit of 20%. On 20 rupees, you get a profit of rupees 4. It's a profit, make it positive. Now, 30% of remaining, it means how much is left? 80. 30% of this, 24. And there is a loss of 25%. So 25%, 24 is 6 loss, and to make it as negative. Then, how much is left? 80 minus 24. This would be 56. And this 56 is sold at a profit of 50%. It means there is a profit of 28. That will be positive. Now, my profit was 28 and for 32 minus 6, 26. So what I can say, on rupees 100, I made a profit of rupees 26. It means my profit percentage is 26%. That's my answer. Try to understand it again. What I have done in this question. You have 100 articles with you. 20% of the articles. It means 20 CP. You get a profit of 20%. You get a profit of rupees 4. 30% of remaining articles. My remaining articles are 80. 30% is 24. I have got a loss of 25%. It means my loss is rupees 6. Then remaining articles he sells at a profit of 50%. My remaining articles are equal to 56. And profit is 50%, that is 28. So overall profit is 32 and loss is 6. I can say my profit is 26, right? If my profit is 26, so I can say on 100 rupees I have got a profit of rupees 26. My profit is said to be 26%.